That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction
Mondays.
Monday.
That pesky bunch in New England, the Patriots, will not lose another game in the regular season.
Oh, come on.
14-2.
That's an overreaction. I'm already getting hooked on a feeling about next week for New England at Chicago. And I know what Chicago looked like in Miami.
Are they playing the Rams in Chicago next week?
No.
Playing the Bears.
I know that.
Oh.
If Khalil Mack of the first 4 weeks shows up, Brady's in trouble. And he can be disruptive. And if the Bears of 2 weeks ago show up, New England could lose that one. They're at Buffalo. I'm not going to go there. Did you see Nate Peterman come in that game for an injured Josh Allen and throw a pick? He's thrown an interception on 11% of his passes.
He's not a good quarterback.
Home for Green Bay, at Tennessee, a bye. At the Jets. Don't sleep on the 3-3 Jets, sir. Home for Minnesota, at Miami, at Pittsburgh, where Le'Veon Bell should be back.
Maybe.
Home for Buffalo, home for the Jets. I'm not going to say it. That's an overreaction.
Okay.
Overreaction, sir.
All right.
What else do you have over
Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. Best team in the NFC East.
I'm not going to say that's an overreaction. I would say if you're a Cowboy fan, feel it right now. Feel it.
I kind of agree with you.
I chose the Cowboys over the Jaguars. That was my unlockiest lock of the week if I didn't just take the Eli juice. I loved what that front seven is doing. Jalen Smith is a beast at the linebacker position, and he is the leader of this defense. Of that, there is no doubt. Certainly Sean Lee being out with a hamstring injury that normally was the end of the Cowboys' defense being effective. Not anymore. And everybody is making plays around him. David Irving is back. That front seven is vicious.
Yeah, Leighton Vander Esch seemed to be the right draft pick.
Dallas has gotten it right on the front seven, and all they need to do is get Dak up to speed, which they do better at home than not. They're 3-0 at home and 0-3 on the road. So I'd say Cowboys feel it. I need to see what the Eagles are going to do. As we know, Washington eked one out against Carolina yesterday. But I'm not going to call that an overreaction, that the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC East. I don't know if they're going to win the division, but right now they have a claim to that for sure. Yeah. What else do you have over there?
You're going to be their new head coach soon. The Oakland Raiders are the worst team in the NFL.
Let me look around here. The Oakland Raiders are the worst team in the NFL.
I think contenders are the Giants, Cardinals.
The Colts are the Colts are the best. Can I say the Colts are the best 1-5 team? By the way, in terms of that, while we're on the subject of worst teams in the NFL, the Colts sitting at 1-5. Andrew Luck, for all the talk about we need to protect him, we need to make sure that he's got a long career ahead of him. And offensive line is where they focused, but they still haven't fixed whatever's going on in the running back group behind him. He has thrown 288 passes in the first 6 games of the season. That's the most attempts in the Super Bowl era. But I'm saying that's not an overreaction. Amari Cooper got blown up yesterday as Seattle just went and hit him in the head. I don't know. That was a blown call. And whichever ref blew that call needs to have whatever demerit, make sure he doesn't get a playoff start. That was terrible. And this is why these hits should be reviewable in that respect, I guess. If somebody's carted off after being hit like that, I don't even know what happened. Maybe they lost their whistle, their flag at customs.
After he was the subject of trade rumors in the morning.
Who, Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
That was a horrible hit. That fellow McDougal, who is playing his you-know-what off, he's going to have a hefty fine. That FedEx package that's coming his way is going to be hefty. So I'll say yes, that's not an overreaction. They are brutal. They can't rush the passer. They can't score touchdowns. They can't get open.
It's not.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't sit there and go, that's a playmaker on their staff. I can't name a single one. And what has happened with the quarterback is totally degraded. And that's the third real subject with John Gruden is when is he going to sour on Derek Carr? Because that's coming. And then he's just going to blow the whole thing up and start from scratch again. I don't know which team is going to raise their hand and say, we'll take Carr in his contract. But he better watch out. Because if it goes completely south like that, That's coming. And Mark Davis better expect that knock on the door from John Gruden to say, guess what? That guy, number 4, who you've paid a gajillion dollars to, that's not my guy. And I've got 9 years left on my contract. So which one do you want to eat? Mine or his? Because I'll go back and hang with Tess and Witt if I have to, with all that dead money. Gruden, and guess what they would do at ESPN? They take Gruden back in a heartbeat. And it's amazing I'm even saying this into a microphone 6 games in.
Oh, Jacksonville take Derek Carr?
Why wouldn't they? I don't know. That's crazy what happened yesterday too. But I saw that coming. Yeah. The hot boys, as Cowboys, as Irv calls them.
Man, they're feeling themselves as they should. Let's go to Texas. The Houston Texans are the best team in the AFC South. They've won 3 straight after starting the year.
That's an overreaction. I mean, Deshaun Watson yesterday was just getting his ass beat.
He has been getting that beat all year.
And I don't know what's going on there offensively. I mean, I don't even know. The Texans are sitting there at 3-3, and I still think the Jaguars are top to bottom a better team. And I came into this league thinking that Deshaun Watson had a chance to be this. It came into this year thinking he was going to be your MVP. They're going through some tough times there in Houston. So the fact that they've won 3 in a row right now is pretty remarkable. But I'm still not jumping ship on the Jaguars,
You're sticking with Jacksonville.
One pass away from making the Super Bowl last year. And Leonard Fournette has been invisible because he's been hurt. Let's see what the second half of the season is. I'm not ready to say that yet about the Houston Texans. Overreaction is what I say.
Okay. Let's go to Baltimore. The Ravens, 11 sacks yesterday of Marcus Mariota.
Unbelievable.
The Ravens have the best defense in the NFL.
Oh, man.
They've given up a league-low 77 points this year.
The Ravens have played Buffalo, Cincinnati, which has had a great offense, Denver, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Tennessee. I'm going to hold my powder on that. They take on the Saints next week at home. They do that next week against the Saints team coming off a bye week. I will crown them that through 7 weeks. But I guess let's get to this here. Actually, you know what? You have a couple more of these?
I have 2 more.
Okay,
2 more.
Great. Go for it.
Offense now. Looking at offense. Todd Gurley, you mentioned him in the first segment. 208 yards rushing yesterday,
yes.
Career high. Todd Gurley will win the NFL MVP.
That's not an overreaction. That's not an overreaction. Breeze is in the mix. Mahomes is in the mix. Brady's in the mix. Gurley is in the mix. He won that game from yesterday. He won that game from yesterday. He absolutely went to Denver and won that game. And you can't sit here and say, well, Isaiah Crowell had 200 yards on the Broncos a week before and they're weak in that department. Nuh-uh. Cooper Kupp, that's 2 games in a row in which he's hardly been available for him. Cooks was shut down. Robert Woods is dynamite too.
Great hands.
Gurley is and Goff's an MVP candidate also. As you know, he was the guy, he won my quarter NFL MVP award.
Quarter MVP.
But Gurley will win the MVP? That's not an overreaction.
After being AP Offensive Player of the Year last
year. That's not
an
overreaction at all.
All right, last one. Adam Thielen. Hooked on a Thielen.
Yes.
Best receiver in the NFL right now.
Thielen.
Best receiver in the league. 11 catches, 123 yards yesterday. 6th straight 100-yard game. Leads the NFL in receptions, yards, receiving yards per game.
Yeah, and if he gets one more 100 receiving yard game, that would tie Charlie Hannigan for the longest such streak of games to start an NFL season when he had 7 with the Oilers to start the 61 season. Whew. Julio Jones is amassing all the yards and not scoring touchdowns. Antonio Brown ran away from everybody yesterday for the game winner.
Hopkins looks
Tyreek Hill, don't sleep on him. He's incredible. That's not an overreaction. That's not an overreaction. Adam Thielen. Best receiver in the NFL? I'll say that's not overreaction. That's arguable. You can argue that right now.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.